Lori Wright, also known as Not Your Average Grandma. I created this podcast as a place to go for midlife inspiration. If you are in a stage where you believe the best is behind you, it is my hope that one of these episodes will ignite a long suppressed or unrealized desire, and you will see the potential within yourself just waiting to be tapped, so you can do amazing things with the time you have left. I want you to stop seeing your age as a limitation and start seeing it as your superpower. You have years of experience and value that the younger you never had, so it's time to lean into that and use it to fuel your future. No more letting age hold you back from the pursuit of a more passion-filled life. The more passionate we are, the better the world will be. So stop settling for average, put your AirPods in, and let this episode inspire you to take the first step in transforming your mind, body, and soul. Today's abundance lesson is about the gift of imperfection. I love this subject as a recovering perfectionist. It came up for me. The reason I decided to do it as one of my abundance episodes is because it came up as a topic with my students last week. And what happened was, and it was so funny that it happened because the same thing happened to me. So I'm just going to share with you this little story. One of the students went on a little trip and she was beating herself up because she fell off the wagon. She fell off the wagon of what she perceives as the work that she needs to do to be more sparked in her life, because that's what we do. It's the second half spark school, and we work on finding deeper purpose and making the rest of our life the best part of our life. So she was feeling very guilty and perhaps feeling a little disappointed in herself because she had set these expectations, which were to be something that is impossible, like perfect every single day in the work that she is learning to do. And that is an illusion. And I know that's what we do. That's kind of our natural, that's what we do in this world. We try to do everything perfect. And we have this expectation that if we don't do it, there's a right way, and then there's the way, and we fall off the wagon. And then we spend so much energy and time thinking about what we failed at or what we didn't do. And so that's what I want this episode to be about, because I went on a trip myself. And guess what? I too fell off the wagon of doing the work that the mindset work that I found to be the most amazing tools. But vacation can and should be a break. And you know what she does have and what I have that is such a blessing of abundance is an awareness. And we know when we fall off track. We know when we have this awareness we never have before. We know what is making us feel less good. And if we fall away from the mindset tools that we've learned, for me, that makes me feel worse. And so vacation is a great break. And I when I leave, I try to take it with me, but I often get caught up in the vacationing. And what I find is that when I get home, I am so excited to get back into my routine. And I appreciate more that routine that I've developed when I'm away from it. And so instead of beating ourselves up when we get away from our routine, let's celebrate the fact that we even have it and that we have these tools. So as I was thinking about doing this episode, I wanted to, there were like 3 different points that I thought of that would be good teachings as I was thinking about this student, and then other students kind of got on board with, yo, yes, I know. And they're thinking, oh, you know, we're failing. That they didn't say that they were failing, but the interpretation that I got was that, you know, they were disappointed in themselves and kind of beating themselves up. And first of all, I want to honor the fact that they've been doing this work. First of all, they committed to doing this work, and they have been doing it for almost 3 months, and it's all new habits, lots of lessons, and lots of developing new habits. And to do that consistently and adapt to that is pretty incredible. And it's not easy. It's simple stuff to do, but what's hard is that the diligence that's required, the commitment to continue it. And so when you go away from it for a short time after committing to it, and then that's where what seeps in is this, oh my gosh, I'm away from what I'm learning. I'm not doing it right. I'm not perfect. So, and we'll never be perfect. So it was really for me a blessing that the same thing happened to me at the same time. And I went away for 5 days in Florida, and I took my gratitude journal. I always have good intentions. I go away, I'm going to consistently do this. And because I'm grateful for, like, I sit down every morning. It's just become such an ingrained habit for me. That part's not hard to continue in vacation. But the other things that I like to do, like meditating, I like to do other things that require more time. And in the vacation mindset, it kind of falls by the wayside. So first of all, tip number 1, don't beat yourself up for falling off track. Instead, appreciate that you have the ability to get back on track. So you have an awareness that you're even off track. And you clearly, if you're off track, have something that you're doing that you consider on track. So count your blessings that you have a system, a routine, tools that help keep you focused on what that is that gives you positive energy, what gives you joy. And those are the things that you need to focus on. Not that you stepped away from the tools, not that you're failing because you're not focusing on the tools. That's not where you want to be. You want to be in the place where you, like me, and I switched my brain to, I can't wait to get back to my routine. I can't get, I can be away for a few days. I can't wait to get back to my routine. I'm so thankful that I have the tools that will help me and get me back where I need to be. But for now, I'm just enjoying my vacation. So tip number 2, as soon as you have that awareness that you're off track, take your mind to what you are doing that is good. Remember, this is abundance. So when I get to number 3, I'll talk more about this. So, and I'll tell you what you're actually doing when you are not thinking abundance and you're not in that mindset space. But focus on what you're doing in your vacation. You might not be using those tools, but there is so much good in what you're doing. The fact that you have detached from your crazy routine, that you've taken a vacation. A lot of people don't take vacations. That you are enjoying the moment. Focus on the present moment and that which you are doing. So for me, when I was thinking about this, I thought, so what was good that I was doing? Maybe I wasn't doing all my mindset habits consistently on my vacation, but I was spending quality time with my family. I saw my cousin. I hadn't seen her for years. I saw my uncle, who I haven't seen since I was 17 years old when he divorced. He and my aunt divorced. I haven't seen him since my grandfather's funeral when I was 17 years old. I'm okay with being imperfect in my mindset routine if I can focus on the good of that connection and those couple of hours spent with my 88-year-old uncle, reminiscing. And I mean, I learned things about my grandmother I didn't even know. So it was amazing. So that's, I want to focus on what is good and not what I'm not doing that I should be doing or that I think I should be doing. eating yummy food. We all do that on vacation. Enjoy it, splurge on it. I had the best BLT I think I've ever eaten with avocado on it. It had probably a whole pack of bacon on it, but it was so delicious and I enjoyed every minute. And I don't eat a lot of bread normally. I try to minimize the amount of bread I eat, but I ate that, and usually these BLTs that you buy at restaurants, they have this thick bread. So it's really like 2 slices of bread. So I actually only ate half and then for lunch, and then I ate the other half for, I think, lunch the next day. So it was delicious. So it got me 2 meals. So the other good things that I thought of that were when I stepped into the abundance mindset was feeling the sand between my toes. I got to walk on the beach. I haven't done that for many, 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 many months, over a year. So that felt great. Taking a long walk on the beach. My husband and I walked 5.5 miles. And I never walk 5.5 miles. I might walk 2. So that, like, just being out in nature, smelling the ocean, because there's that smell, that ocean breeze on you, and just walking and looking at and seeing the people enjoying. I mean, we walked by this father and son, and they had built the most amazing sandcastle, and they had gotten these little sticks and made little like masts that were on and they were kind of blowing in the breeze, but they out of things that they had found on the beach. And I took that in and I was like, and I commented about how amazing the castle was. And the dad was really into it, of course. But little moments like that, I don't need a mindset routine in that moment. I need to appreciate the bond that father and son are having, the breeze on my face, the fact that I'm barefoot and like loving the sand under my toes, and just walking along with not a care in the world, because there is no schedule when you're on vacation, right? And then listening to good music. I mean, we saw live bands. I can't tell you the last time I saw a live band, and they were really good bands, sitting on the deck overlooking the ocean. You don't beat yourself up when you're having these moments that you are probably missing because you're so busy thinking, oh my gosh, I should be back doing my work. I should be back doing the things that I'm learning. I should be back applying this stuff. No, you should be cherishing the moment that you're living at the moment. And so that was tip number 2. Tip number 3 is understand that perfections are tied to fear and a lack mindset. So like when you're living from a state of perfectionism, what it's tied to is a fear of disappointing other people, typically, or a fear of rejection, or a feeling of like you're failing to meet expectations. You've put these expectations on yourself. They're made up in your mind. They're probably not true, because that's what expectations are. They just end up, disappointing us usually. So fear is living from a lack mindset, really, and not a state of abundance, because it's where your mind is what you think you don't or won't have. You're just focused on kind of a future place, and it's an unknown. You don't know. So you're so worried, like perhaps the student was worried about the teacher and what I would think if she fell off the wagon, or what her peers would think if she fell off the wagon. So it's all made up, really, because the truth is, I'm happy she fell off the wagon. I'm happy that she spent focused time and was present with the people that she was with. So drop the fear and boldly embrace the truth of where you are at the present moment. That's the only truth you have. The future isn't here yet. So we have no idea what the future is going to bring. And when we're focused on perfectionism, we're focused on the outcome. And that's not where we want to be with abundance. And while you're focused on the present moment, appreciate all that is. All that is. Look around. Don't beat yourself up for what you're not doing. Focus on what you are doing. And the awareness that you will have is the biggest blessing, because when you have the awareness, everything changes. So to wrap up, don't beat yourself up for falling off track. As soon as you have awareness that you're off track, take your mind to what you are doing that is good around you. That in those moments of your vacation, not what you're not doing, but what you are doing, that is good. And then understand that perfectionism is tied to fear. So you want to drop the fear and embrace the truth of the present moment and all that is. Hope this has helped. And for all you perfectionists out there, perfection is an illusion. So drop it. You'll be happier when you let go of all those perceived expectations other people have on you. It's so much more freeing to live and accept your imperfections, because nobody's perfect. It's just all an illusion that we have. And I want to recommend, before I close, Brené Brown, who you may have heard of. She did an excellent TED Talk back in the day. She wrote a book called The Gifts of Imperfection. And I'll link it up in the show notes, but that's a really great book. If you do suffer from perfectionism, it's a great book. And I did find a great little clip on YouTube where she was being interviewed by Oprah on a Super Soul Sunday. It's just a short, like 5-minute clip. And part of it is talking about imperfection and she talks about the fear aspect of it. So I thought that was a really great little clip that I'll share as well. So if you only have 5 minutes, you can listen to that. All right. Thanks for listening. See you next week with another abundance episode. Thank you so much for tuning into the Not Your Average Lives podcast. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe on iTunes if you have an Apple device. You can find free resources and learn what else I have going on at the moment that might interest you on my website at notyouraverage.grandma.com. You can also find me on Instagram or Facebook at Not Your Average Grandma. If you liked this episode, it would make my heart so happy if you could leave me a 5-star rating. You can also add a review to let me know what you like about this podcast, which will help spread the word about it to others who need a little midlife inspiration. As always, be you, listen to your inner voice, and focus on reigniting that lost spark so you can start living your own Not Your Average life.